Hare Krishna. So tonight we're going to speak about two important verses that are a main emphasis in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first one is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Tate nukampam sushamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvagva purbir viradan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. This is it's very good. Very good posture. This is the verse for how to achieve liberation. Okay, how to achieve liberation. It's not by any amount of austerities of the body. It's an austerity of the heart and the mind. Tatenukampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvagva purbir vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. That you can achieve liberation from bondage by understanding and accepting that the reactions that come to you in life, and when we say reactions, we usually mean something negative. I won the lottery. We don't think of that as a reaction. We think of it as my great fortune. But the negative reactions that come to us in our life are caused by ourselves. We accept that if I'm experiencing some pain or some harm or some trauma, it's, like you have these boomerangs. And you think, I throw out the boomerang and no problem. And I'm hitting people along the way. And I'm walking along one day and then whack, hits me back. It's called karma. And another way to understand karma also is just to see that, if you cause harm to somebody, it may not immediately come back to you, but then they cause harm to somebody. They cause harm to somebody. They cause harm to somebody. And one day or another, it's like that someone down the chain is going to cause harm to you. Because you're creating negative energy in the world. If you create positive energy in the world, then the world becomes more positive. Gurudev would say, create positive sound vibrations. Chant God's names. Speak positive things. Have positive thoughts. You're creating more positive energy. That means you're going to have more positive experiences in your surroundings. Because that you've created good karma. Bad karma means you've been violent, you've been abusive, you've been like that. And then what happens? It'll come back. And so if we're able to learn to accept that, then tate nukampam, you accept it as anukampa, which means mercy. There's two ways of understanding things like that. One is justice and one is mercy. In the rule of law, we know it as justice. But in God's rule, we know it as mercy. It becomes mercy, not justice, if you can accept it and develop a sense of acceptance. It means remorse. If I have caused harm, then I'm receiving pain in return. And therefore I must have hurt. And so I have this sense of regret. And that will make it more likely that I'm not perpetuating that cycle. I've hurt people, so I'm being hurt. So that's me not hurt people again, so I won't be hurt again. If I don't think there's repercussions for my actions, then it doesn't really matter what happens to me. Or I just be spiteful at existence and I'm suffering, so I should try to destroy existence and cause more suffering to others. I'm not happy, so I should make others unhappy. Instead of realizing that I'm not happy because I have made others unhappy. We think I should make others unhappy because I'm not happy. But really, we don't understand that I'm not happy because I've made others You're creating this negative energy loop. And to get out of that negative energy loop of the negative karma, you have to stop perpetuating it by this idea that I am the victim. I am the victim, I am the victim. And then you keep doing it. Seeking vengeance, seeking retribution, instead of just accepting it as God's mercy. And you can immediately break free of that cycle and start your upward trajectory. Tatenu kampam sushamikshama bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. It's coming to me. I can't stop it. Ridvag vapurabir vidadan namaste. And think of God. Think of God and jivetya mukti pade sadaya bhak. The Lord is merciful. I take shelter of the merciful Lord. So one thing Mahaprabhu says, the next verse, this is his own verse, Shikshastakam verse 3. 8 essential instructions of Mahaprabhu. Drinadapi sunichena todoriva sahishnuna amanina manadhena kirtaniya sadahari. Kirtaniya sadahari means we should always engage in thinking, speaking, and hearing about the Lord. Especially kirtan. Kirtan engages the mind, the words, and the body. All together. Kaya, man, vachan. Body, mind, and words should be engaged in God consciousness. That's kirtan. Because only meditating on God, you may not be purifying your body and speech. But if you're speaking the Lord's name, you will naturally have it will be more favorable to thinking of the Lord. When you're saying you're meditating, you may be distracted. But if you're speaking, it's very powerful and it will encourage natural meditation, natural remembrance. So that's kirtan. But how do we perform kirtan? Trinadapi sunichena, we should develop humility, that we are lower than a blade of grass. Tororiva sahishna, we should develop tolerance, that we are more tolerant than a tree. Amanina manadena, we should honor others without desiring honor for ourselves. Then we can do this kirtaniya sadahari. That means sada, continuous, kirtan, speaking about God, Hari. Now, the question is here, humble and tolerant. For whom should we apply this? Where should we be humble? Where should we be tolerant? Where should we not be humble? Where should we not be tolerant? And is there a difference? Or should we be humble in all cases? Should we be tolerant in all cases? What to do? Some people think we should be humble to our superiors, and we should be tolerant of our superiors. Does that make sense? If someone is senior to you, you should be humble to them. Do you agree? Someone is very senior, elder, and someone junior should tolerate them. What do you think? What do you think? You're shaking your head no, but you're saying it sounds good. Be humble. I would say it's more important that the superior should be humble and tolerate the junior in a specific way. That means you should recognize that those who are like infants in their spiritual life, there's a great amount of tolerance and understanding of their even mistakes, even faults, to help them develop love and confidence and grow. So should the baby tolerate the mother or the mother tolerate the baby? Hey, why did you pass stool? Bad baby. Can't help it. It's a baby. So the mother should be tolerant. This is for those who are so-called advanced in spiritual life. This is the nature of a sadhu. The nature of a sadhu is to be, right, very gentle. This is great strength. This is not weakness. It takes Courage. You know where courage comes from? The core, which means the heart. The root of the word courage. This is not weakness. It's not weakness to be tolerant. Just means not being angry at those who are in a neophyte stage, who are practicing, who are beginning. Gurudev would say like that to people who are criticizing him all the time. People who are ridiculing, criticizing. He said, oh, they're just like babies. You've read that? They don't know anything. They don't know any better. So the parent learns to not tolerate, in a word like, we think this is a bad word, tolerate. Just tolerate. No, it's a very soft, sweet word. To learn to develop tolerance. And generally we think of this as junior to senior, but when you advance, you should think of it just as much or more as senior to junior. Because otherwise you're not recognizing, it doesn't mean you don't have any training. You have to train people and help them, but in that training, in that help, how important it is to have proper conduct. Someone makes some mistake and you scream at them, this is not proper conduct. Very lovingly, you can help, guide, and encourage, but you should understand the difference. Is someone, have you developed trust in a relationship and love? Or are you just being abusive? Like someone doesn't know how to do something and they do it wrong, and then you shout at them. That doesn't mean they are wrong. It means you are wrong. You are wrong. You're not doing proper training. And you look at how Swami Prabhupada preached, how tolerant he was, how compassionate he is, how kind, and how strong. Chastisement can come after. Right? Now the baby is a little mature. And then you have to chastise when? When they are attacking and criticizing and ridiculing those junior to them. This is what happens generally in like religious groups. I am senior, so I get to chastise you, but you are junior, so you have to be tolerant of me. You are junior, tolerate me. It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I am senior, so I get to be like this to you, always crazy and chastising. This is not in the case of Guru. Guru is someone that is your true guardian, your true friend, they're qualified. They have true relationship, not Guru by position, but Guru by heart. There's Guru by position and there's Guru by heart. That means they have that bond of love and friendship. And then it's like Mother Yashoda. She is chastising Krishna, the Supreme Lord, but only out of her love. She is able to bind Krishna by the ropes of her love, not by the ropes of her chastisement. And even that, look what happened. So much pain in Braj. Mother Yashoda was standing like a statue, frozen. The trees had fallen, Krishna was crying, Nanda Baba was crying, the Brajbasis were crying. Krishna said, I will not go see Mother Yashoda. Where will you drink milk? I will go to the cows with Baba, my father. What will you eat? He will feed me sugar candy and butter. Why? We think chastisement is like a candy we want to eat. I must chastise this person because I am powerful and they are not bona fide. I have to train them. I have to train you to be better. Rah! That's not training. That's only showing that I'm still a child. And so obviously there's place for chastisement. Guru Karnadaram, Guru is called the twister of the ear for a reason. Mother is known to twist the ear. Your mother ever twisted your ear? You squeezed your arm. Okay, anyhow. There's place, time, circumstance, but if it's not with love, then what is it? Just violence. Chastisement without love is violence. And we could say maybe violence is warranted sometime, but not to someone weaker who is also not violent. If you're chastising someone to stop them from committing violence, but if you're just chastising someone because you don't like what they're doing or they're not doing it perfectly, you have to tolerate. Even they're doing it imperfectly, you tolerate. And with love and with gentleness, you can gradually correct. You have to let people develop the capacity to also understand and withstand that and need it. I need to grow. But it doesn't mean we're like, spiritual life is not some kind of masochism. We need a whip with, barbs, and all the sinful throngs of people worshiping us should be whipped and become submissive. That's not spiritual life. Trinadapi sunichana means I should be humble and tolerate and help and encourage. Yes, not today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, next day, not next day, next year, they will improve. Vamana Goswami Maharaj would say, Dekibo, Shunibo, Bholibo na. I will not see evil, I will not speak evil, I will not hear evil. That means tolerate. Learn to tolerate. Pray to God. If someone is doing wrong, you pray to God. Oh Lord, you are in their heart, you can inspire them. However, it's necessary sometimes to chastise. But Gurudev, what do they say? You are not masters to chastise. If you have that responsibility given to you by Guru and by Krishna, and you can exercise it with great love, with great compassion, chastise with compassion for the sake of not just them to be proven right or them to even become right, but with the compassion that in this situation, like a doctor giving a medicine, it can be helpful. With great intelligence, sometimes with great strength. Why sometimes extra doses is necessary. But if we see many times people get this kind of, leadership can attract people with negative traits that crave this power over others to chastise. But no, I say those in more power should be more tolerant. That this sense of character is more important than right or position. Think of it this way, like a policeman. They should be more punished for doing wrong than your regular person, because they have power. So policemen, if they're taking bribes, if they're greedy and corrupt, and simply chastising because getting pleasure out of it, then they should go to jail double time. Why? Because they're misusing their power. It's improper. You're in that position to protect people, to protect the innocent, to uphold justice. If you, in that position to protect justice, to protect the innocent, to uphold justice, are now causing harm to those people you're supposed to protect, then you are doubly culpable, doubly responsible. And you're destroying the integrity of your profession. That means that as a class, you're meant to uphold not the rule of law, that the compassionate justice. If someone is stealing, then they're committing violence to someone else. If someone is robbing, if someone's assaulting, if someone's doing like that, then it's your job to protect the innocent. And, if you have to take them, even in US society, American society, the idea is that you're innocent first till proven guilty. So even policemen, they're not supposed to, immediately judge and punish. You take and, you separate, and then you give some proper process that you don't have the power over. Policeman doesn't get to choose whether someone lives or dies. Policeman's job is to take one, and then those in those other positions, the jury of their own people, justice, they can decide these matters. You see? Policeman's not allowed to just go and shoot somebody because they think that person is wrong and I'm right. So that's the idea is here. If you have more power, more authority, then you should be better at upholding those virtues. Otherwise, that position is not for you. Policeman should be more tolerant, should be more kind, and very strong. People think these are weak qualities, but they're strong qualities. It takes strength to have tolerance and compassion and courage. It takes strength. So we look at the qualities of sadhus. There's the story of Mrigarari the hunter. Narada Muni saw he was half killing animals because he enjoyed seeing them writhing in pain. There's a certain sadistic pleasure people get in causing pain to others. They get pleasure from it. It's the very low energy. It's demonic energy. You're not happy just killing the animals. You want to see them writhing in pain. Narada Muni came and said, what are you doing? Why are you unnecessarily causing pain to these other creatures? This is not spiritual values. This is not dharma. He said, no, I like it. I'm doing it. And Narada Muni was very powerful in his preaching. Why? Because of his compassion. There's a story of that in the story of Puranjan in the Bhagavatam. This person was continuously killing animals for sacrifice without any proper method, meaning this is not the real tradition. And Narada Muni sprinkled holy water and showed him in the sky, that means in the astral field, all these subtle bodies of these animals were waiting to inflict punishment back upon him. This law of pain and cycle. Right? You're hurting, so you're going to be hurt. Prabhupada would say, oh, all these things will become bacteria in your body. Cancer, all these things. Why? Because you're causing pain out there in the world. This is going to come back to you. You can't avoid it. And so therefore, develop kindness, tolerance, humility. What is kindness? It doesn't mean, oh, someone is like a great, powerful person, I'm kind to them. No. Kindness means to those who are weak. That I will not subjugate and harm them. And this is such an important thing in spiritual life. We think knowledge is important. Conduct is important. Behavior is important. Knowledgeable people can still go to prison for bad conduct. Foolish people don't go to prison. Right? It's not about intelligence. It's about your mood, your behavior, your actions that are a reflection of your nature. So this is very important to learn. Mahaprabhu said, then we can progress, then we can get liberation. So Trinadapi Sunichana Torori Vasahishana means when you evolve in spiritual life, most people think this is for neophytes because they're neophyte. This is not for neophytes, this is for those who are advancing. If you're advancing, it said, who can do Kirtaniya Sarahari? Someone can continuously chant Kirtan if they're on the Madhyam stage. So that means as you're advancing, intermediate stage now be humble and tolerant. Even though you're able to see and discriminate, you don't judge, you don't chastise, you don't criticize. Gurudev said, don't criticize, don't chastise, don't complain. Gurudev said it hundreds of times. Right? You've typed it hundreds of times. Don't criticize. How many times have you typed don't criticize?
Many times.
Don't criticize. And then don't chastise, don't complain. What is the use? Just today. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his song, Bengali song based off this third verse, he sings, Trina Adhika Dhina Hina Kinchana Char. We should develop the humility, the feeling this like I am more fallen than a blade of grass. People think this is a very weak thing. Oh, Christ would speak about this and Christ taught people to be weak. No, this is great strength and courage. Humility before God and before others. The sadhus learn they don't want to harm an ant. There's a story of this another person, Narad Muni, took them from a violent life to a sagely, compassionate life. And later he brought his friend to meet this person in the forest. And the person used to be very violent towards so many creatures. And then he heard his guru was coming, and he came out of his ashram and he offered very humble obeisance, but he was very careful that not one ant will be harmed. And as he was walking towards his guru, he was being very gentle, and he would not, oh, there's ants in my way, I'll sweep them aside and smash them. No. Oh, dear ant. And he would very gently move them aside. Why? What is my right to harm that creature? He's going about his business. He's not harming me. And I'm some giant who's just going to walk by smashing him? No, I should be humble and tolerant towards that ant. He is not in my way, I'm in his way. If I'm walking through his path, there's a line of ants, and I'm walking through the pathway and stomping on them, oh, you're in my way. He's just going about he's on his highway, and you're Godzilla smashing him. Right? He's going along the ant highway. Why are you being Godzilla? You're the aggressor. Don't be the aggressor. It's not necessary. It's not good for your life. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano. Even that ant is biting you. Think, oh, I must certainly have harmed his species. There's some, in India, in Vrindavan, I've seen this myself with our teachers there. Some people who've committed a lot of harm and violence towards others, they will tell them to try to go feed the ants sugar, feed the dogs, feed the monkeys, feed the sparrows. But sometimes they'll go and try, and none of these species will eat their food. You try to feed the dogs, they won't take from you. You try to feed the monkeys, they won't take from you. You try to feed the ants, they'll, nope. Why? Because there's so much bad karma in you, so much hatred, so much anger, so much everything stored up that no one wants anything to do with it. The soul in their heart knows, don't go near that person. That person has too much negative energy. Understand? Sometimes it happens, like accidentally they killed an animal or something. And everyone will, no. They'll have to do yagya, they'll have to do prayashchitta, atonement, prayer. And then after some time, after repeated try and prayer, then they go and then, not like, hey, take my food, monkey. Hey, take my bananas. Take my sugar, ants. No, they don't have to take from you. God is giving them plenty of food according to their karma. You are the wrongdoer. You are the one committing harm. So you be humble to the ant. Then you can know what it means to be lower than a blade of grass. Develop humility towards the ant. Dear ant, I will not harm you. That is compassion. So therefore he was sweeping the ant out of the way to go and offer pranam to his guru. I'm offering obeisance to my guru, and in the meantime I'm smashing the ants. And what is this pranam? There's another story of King Rahugana and Jad Bharat, and he was carrying the palanquin of the king, and he was not being humble to the king because the king was getting uncomfortable because he was very carefully not stepping on the ants. And so there was 4 palanquin bearers, and they took this apparently dumb man, it's a long story, and he was, not keeping it steady. It was jostling and bouncing. And the king became very upset again and again. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And he wouldn't answer. But finally, the king got out, and he was very angry and very, very aggressive. And this person began to speak very eloquently the teachings of the scriptures. The point is, who is he going to tolerate? Is he going to cause discomfort to the king or kill the ants? Better to cause discomfort to the king and risk your own life. The king may kill him. The king wanted to kill him. But when he heard his eloquent teachings, he offered respect and heard from him and learned from him. So through that behavior, the king actually was liberated. The king got so many great teachings. It started him on the spiritual journey and helped him eventually he became liberated. So this is the nature of sadhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Dhanya doya anyaman pratishta varjan chari guni guni how koroho kirtan. If you want to do kirtan, you should develop 4 qualities. Dainya, humility. Doya, compassion. Anyaman, respecting others. Pratishta varjan, no desire for respect. Chari gun, guni how. When you have these 4 qualities, then you're guni, qualified. It's said that the tree that bows down from many fruits, that means when you're wise with many fruits and many good qualities, not just wisdom, then you should bow down and be humble. And the true fruit of your learning is your humility. Our Gurudev would say your humility is synonymous with prem. Your humility is the synonymity with your love. The more you have love, the more you have humility. The more you have humility, the more you have love. So pride and love are not compatible. Anger and love are not compatible. Humility and love, they are synonyms. Why? Humility is a reflection of your love. So why would I harm this other creature? So this is a very important message. Most important, I would say, in spiritual or political or any position of authority and power. You have to have love for people and then truly, genuinely care for them. And then you can think about, like they say with a child, you're putting a fork in the socket, you will get electrocuted, you may be hurt. So you chastise them. Don't do this. It'll harm you or hurt you. This is a form of compassion. Not anger, not pride, not violence. It's compassion. Don't do this. Don't do this. But if it's not coming from love, where is it coming from? It's not going to help. It's just going to increase the disease. If you're always yelling at people, Prabhupada tells a story. There's one mother, and she was always yelling at her son, donkey boy, donkey boy, donkey boy, stupid, 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 donkey boy, donkey boy, donkey boy. And someone said to her, donkey mother. If the boy's a donkey, then you're a donkey. It's your fault. Donkey, 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 but donkey, 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 donkey. If you're going hee-haw, then you're the donkey. Right? You become the donkey. So this is not spiritual life. This is not seniority. Senior means, like a mother, you can care for those who are junior. And then like a mother, you can train, you can chastise, but not without love. Mother means she has love. Otherwise, not a good mother. So these verses are important. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Hoi leo sarva gune guni mahashoy pratishta sachari koro amani hridoy. Now you've developed all these good qualities. You're humble, you're compassionate, you give respect to others. But even more, you should become giving up. After you develop all these qualities, it's very difficult to not be proud. I'm so qualified. And we think sadhu means someone who is able to, has the power to curse, the power to bless. This is both pride. If I can bless you, that means I am considering myself godly. If I can curse you, I have some power. What is my power to bless or curse? God can bless. Sadhu will say, I have nothing. You pray to God. This is a famous Christ teaching. Someone was praising him again and again. He said, God is good. Prabhupada says this all the time. Anytime someone says thank you to him, he says, no, thank God. We say, thank God. Right? In the West, we say like that. What does it mean? Like, oh, thank God. But no, we should have that mood of thanks to God to understand that we are human. God is God. We are not. So anyhow, these are the qualities of sadhu. Sadhu is not someone who's always blessing and cursing people. Oh, you are good, I like you. You are my follower, I'll bless you. You are not good, you are not my follower, I'll curse you. This is demonic quality. Devotee quality is, you are divine. Namaste. I offer my pranam to you. Sadhu means, Jiva na nirvahyane udvega nadhive, parayupakara nija sukha pasharive. In the course of my life, I will endeavor to not cause harm to anyone. Jivane nirvahe ane udvega nadhive. While living my life, I will try not to cause pain to others. Para upakar, I will try to help others. Nija sukha pashariva, not thinking about my own happiness. This is the song that is the commentary to this Trinadapi Sunechana verse. So if we follow this verse, then we can practice Tatenu Kampam Susamiksha Mano. Understand? These go together. Mahaprabhu said these verses, Gurudev would say these part of Gurudev's 4 most important verses. He also said, Anyabhilashta shunyam jnana karmadhyanavartam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhakti rutama vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam adarutpasta vegam etan vishya etadira sarvam pridimam vishayam shishyat. Then you can have followers. The whole world can be your follower because you know that no one is my follower. Everyone's God's follower. I am God's follower. Then I'm not guru. Then I'm das, servant. And if it's my responsibility to help others take shelter of God, then I will do it, but not as this big Guru Abhimani thing. I am Guru, follow me, listen to me, I'll chastise you, I'll bless you, I'll curse you. No, I am small, I am insignificant. I am das and udas and udas and udas and udas, servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. I am nothing. When I examine myself, I have no good qualities. Lord, your mercy is everything. And then the Guru will say, oh, I'm so fortunate to be with such great people who are protecting me in my spiritual life. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, the greatest scholar in the whole world. He would say, you are my Vipad Udharan Bandhav. That means my friends helping me in the most dangerous situation of material life. Protecting me and always engaging me in Bhakti Yoga. He didn't have that seniority complex. Humble Vaishnavism. Saralahita hi Vaishnavata. Your simplicity, your sincerity, your humility is synonymous with your Vaishnavism. Otherwise, religion means I am superior, you are inferior. I am a follower of God and you are a demon. You are a demon, you are a demon, you are a demon, you are a demon, you are a demon. That means your eyes are the demons. Understand? Everywhere you're looking, you're seeing demon. That means your eyes, your faculty of sight is demonic. Everywhere look, lusty, 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 lusty. That means you are lusty. Thief, 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 thief. You are a thief. Atmavan manyate jagat. You see the world like yourself. This is not seniority. Seniority means, I know because I see the Vaishnavas, I see our Gurudev, how much he would tolerate the offenses, the criticism, the attacks of those very junior, like nothing. And he would be so soft. More tolerant than a tree. That means you tolerate those who are even junior, always doing wrong. Those who are more powerful than you don't have a choice but to tolerate. Right? What's the question of tolerance? You don't tolerate a giant who's smashing you. You just get smashed. It's not about tolerance. But ants are biting you and you are tolerant. That is tolerance. Instead of just smashing them, okay, please, dear sir, here you go. And there are sages there's a story of a sage, he had leprosy. And the worms would fall from his skin onto the ground in the sand or in the dirt. And he would pick them up and put them back and say, oh, you will starve. On this dry sand, you don't have any food. So it is your destiny to eat me. So here you go. Take. Enjoy. No attachment. They will not, You imagine the amount of tolerance and compassion you must have if you have leprosy and your skin is falling apart and all these bugs are eating it and a bug falls on the ground. And you think, oh dear bug, take me. Come back, come back. You're hungry, drink, dear bug. Imagine this. And this is sadhu. This is the example of in our Sanatana Dharma. There's the story of the sadhu who would pick up the scorpion and it would bite him. He was drowning in a pond, and then he would drop it naturally as it bit him, and then he would pick it back up, it would bite him, he would drop it, it would pick him back up, it would bite him, it would drop it again and again and again. The villager asked, the scorpion keeps biting you, why do you keep trying to save it? He said, look at the scorpion, it will not give up its behavior, why should I give up mine? I should have tolerance. Trirandi Bhikshu. So this, Gurudev said, Vacho Vega Manasa Krodha Vega, learn to control your speech. This is more powerful than just people say, I just want freedom to say anything, do anything, whatever, I'm free. Freedom to commit violence. You are not free from the repercussions of your actions. You're not free from that. Vacha Vega, Manasa, Krodha Vegam. Learn to control your mind and your anger. Therefore, the Guru chastises. Who do they chastise? Those who are unable to control their tongue, their mind, their anger, their belly, the genitals, always causing problems. And if the spiritual mission is tolerating that, then it becomes corrupt. So what to tolerate, what not to tolerate? Krishna will not tolerate. What does Krishna say? Jadi Vaishnava Parad Utai Hati Mata Upade Jatinji Jai Patra. If the mad elephant offense of Vaishnava Parad, attacks and criticism of Vaishnavas, anger towards Vaishnav, not being happy to seeing a Vaishnav, always ridiculing, abusing, attacking the Vaishnav comes, then what should you do? Krishna leaves, Bhakti leaves. No, I cannot stay here, I cannot tolerate this. We see this in Mahaprabhu's life. Sometimes chastisement is necessary, but when different personalities were again and again attacking Srivas Pandit, again and again attacking, criticizing Haridas Thakur, then Mahaprabhu cannot attack. Ramchandra Khan, Lord Nityananda Prabhu came, and then Lord Nityananda Prabhu showed what happens when you attack the devotees of the Lord. His entire household, everything was destroyed. And one Gopal Chapel Mahaprabhu said, never in a million lifetimes will you get mercy. Because you have no mercy. Why? Because you're acting in such a heinous way. Then, after deep repentance and remorse, they would say you can't remove a thorn that went in your foot from your head. So you go and beg forgiveness from the Vaishnavas that you offended. You weep and you cry and you beg forgiveness. Then maybe you can be achieving that mercy. So chastisement can also be mercy. But we should understand that just because we have a superior age does not mean we have a superior right to abuse others, criticize others, chastise others. That is not the purport of the scriptures. Our juniors should tolerate us. This is what Mahaprabhu meant. I am senior, you should be humble. Don't you know? Trinadapi sunichena. Be more humble. You are the blade of grass, I will walk on you. You are the tree, I will cut you and you should tolerate. This is not Mahaprabhu's teaching. Trinadapi sunita, this teaching is for all levels. Junior, senior, more senior. But sometimes junior does not know, cannot practice. They don't have the capacity, they're too immature. They don't know, they can't. Baby. Mother tolerates the baby. Loves and cares for the baby. Then the baby becomes strong, and then once it's grown up, you teach the baby, don't do this. It's not good. But love comes first. Okay? Love comes first, not last. Love comes first and last, and the middle. And we should think like a parent thinks of the welfare of those who are our dependents. Not thinking, what can they do for me and how can they tolerate me? And we see this too often in religious circles when people think, I am a spiritual authority and now everyone has to worship me, drink my feet water. while I yell at them. This is not spirituality. So we pray to Gurudev that may this nature never come upon us. It's easy to speak about, but we must follow. And we must pray that if I must exercise this correcting sometimes need, then may I do it with great, we would say the great touch, the gentle hand of justice. Okay? Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.